Hey YouTube, Mike the Alpha Hoarder here. Thanks for joining me. It's good to be back with you all. It's been a minute. I hope you all had a nice holiday and a happy new year. I was a little bit unwell for a couple of weeks there, so in addition to my usual level of distraction, I did not get around to making any videos at all. But I've got a couple I'm going to put together, and I'm hoping to get back into the swing of things. So today I wanted to share a couple of really cool collection pickups, and I wanted to talk briefly about the state of the vintage market. So first, let's start with this guy. Now, I have opened a couple of these on the channel, but it's among my favorite of all cards, top 3 favorite cards I'd say. And cards of this caliber are so rare that I just have to share them. And there she is. Can you tell what it is? Time Walk. Okay, I really want to check out the condition of this guy. So I sniped this guy at auction, like I always do. See my video about that if you're interested. And I won at my max bid. So I did not expect to win this. I did what I thought was a low ball. But I think it's going to depend on the condition. I put in my max bid, which ended in 69 cents. I don't always pick 69, but I do always pick something above 50 cents. And somebody else sniped at the exact same moment, the exact same number minus the change. And so I won. And that is why I do that. But let's just take a look. Ooh, wow. Oh, this is good. This is great condition. Pardon my bumping the camera. I've got a slightly new setup. I got the new iPhone, geez, a while back. Since my last video, though. And the microphone I've been using didn't work with it, so I had to get a new setup and figure it all out. But, yeah, I'll be honest, I thought I was lowballing this when I put the bid in. But, I was also assuming that the condition was nice, and it was labeled as, I think, MP or HP. But no, I don't know. I think this is probably an LP condition card. So very nice. I got a little chip here. I don't see any surface problems. No warping, no indents. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, so yeah, awesome. Amy Weber signature. She's got a cool little scribble. I'm not big on signatures. I don't mind them. I think most people don't like them. But the real problem when I think about signatures is that collectibles are just so illiquid to begin with. Now, there are people who are avid signature collectors, but it's a subset of an already small set of people. And so, just generally speaking, the population at large isn't going to value or want signatures. And so, you're taking something that's already very illiquid, and you're making it even more illiquid. And, you know, you just have to have a good reason for doing that. Now, myself, I love alpha cards so much, especially power. I don't have any signatures in my master binder, but when I'm talking about duplicates, you know, I don't mind. But keep that in mind. That actually reminds me, though. Hold on a second. Going off script for a minute here. I wanted to give you an update on my binders. So when we left off, I showed this interesting monstrosity that I had created. What happened is I was becoming worried about how my other binder was holding the cards. I really loved having all the cards in one binder. It was small, it was nice leather, I really liked it, but I was just getting worried about the way it was handling the cards. So I did move everything into these top loader pages, and I separated it out into different binders. So I've got one for the rares. Let's see if I can get all these on the camera here. I've got one for the uncommons. And I've got one for the commons. And I have one for altered art. It's working out pretty well so far. It's more like an encyclopedia now than a single binder, but it is kind of cool, and I gotta say the cards are definitely a lot safer. So even though I don't love the way it's spread out so much, there is something to be said for keeping the Alpha cards well protected, so I'm happy with that. Okay, onward. So, two other things I wanted to share today. All right. I interviewed Joel Mick a while back. Those of you that have been with my channel for a while might remember that. He's a really cool guy. He connected me with my first few test cards out of his personal collection. I haven't acquired that many more after that, but some of you will know that I have a global set of Demonic Tutor and Sarah Angel, meaning I collected this card in every printing. Alpha, obviously here, Beta, Unlimited, Summer Magic, some of the rare ones. But I never had any test cards, and I now was able to add those to my collection. So here you can see this became Sarah Angel. The way you read these is it's 5 total, and two of them had to be white, which is exactly how it ended up. Cool little clip art. And then for the tutor, it's a pity there's no picture, but I'm not sure. There were several editions before Alpha. This is one of the later ones. I want to say it came after Delta, but I forget. I don't have it in front of me at the moment. But Demonic Tutor. And with those, it completes 2 global sets that I've worked on for a very long time. Actually, come to think of it, this video has, I mentioned my 3 favorite cards. Here they are, all in one video. So anyway, the opportunity for these came up earlier this year, and I just had to jump. One thing I'll observe about the market is, you may have noticed there have been a huge number of playtest cards, relatively speaking, listing and selling on eBay from a couple different sellers. And I find this quite unusual. As far as I'm aware, almost all of these cards sort of coalesced into just that small, like a half dozen hardcore long-time collectors, people that were in it from the very beginning, often involved directly with Wizards. And for a very long time, they didn't move around, as far as I know. Now, I have to admit, I haven't followed that side of the market very closely until more recently, so, maybe I just missed them. But I almost never ran across these prior to this past year, and now dozens of test cards have gone for sale. Actually, I've got another one here that I happened to pick up. A Simulacrum. Not part of the video, it's just sitting there. But I'm not really sure what to make of this. I suspect that it means that at least one very long time old school collector or some other whale has exited, meaning that the old school collectors are continuing to slowly unwind their positions now, even years after the sort of peak and crash. Over a month ago now, Kid Icarus sold almost a complete Alpha set. I think I might have mentioned that in my last video. And inventory remains up. It's a strange market. But myself, I'm not going heavy on these things. Once again, we're talking about just an incredibly niche item. Illiquid isn't quite the word. I mean, if I listed this, it would easily sell. You're basically guaranteed it would sell, and market values just really aren't established, so it's hard to really complain about liquidity. But I think what I'm trying to say is, to the right collector, a card like this is worth a lot. But you're almost guaranteed not to find the right collector in an auction context. And if you want to sit and wait until you can find that kind of collector, you're going to be sitting for a very long time on cards like this. The liquidity in that sense is just so low. And then the other thing I would caution for anyone who's interested is, like a card like this. This is very well sourced, so I'm not too concerned. And at this stage of the game, for the most part, I think these cards are still coming from original owners. But, once these have sort of sold and then resold, second, third, fourth hand, it's going to be very hard to authenticate some of these. Like this is really just a pink piece of paper. I don't want to take it all the way out, but I mean, you can see what I'm saying. This kind of stuff could definitely be forged easily. So, if you are interested in this, probably should stick with graded stuff, unless you can really carefully authenticate the source. But anyway, so. And then there's one other piece to this global set collection that I wanted to share, and that is in here. So let's open this guy up. Take a look-see. One other comment along the lines of collectors exiting. One other thing I've observed in a couple of the dealers that I work with, and even Rudy has now said this publicly on his channel a couple of times, there seems to be more talk about exiting. A couple of weeks ago now, Rudy talked sort of explicitly about how he might one day slow drip his collection if he ever had to. He did a dedicated video on that a few weeks after that first one. I didn't see that as him outlining an actual exit strategy, but I have noticed that trend among a number of people who have never in the past expressed any interest in exiting at all, and now they're bringing it up. And not just Rudy, but only because he's sort of public. And it seems to me that that's sort of the metastasization of the toxic sentiment that started really back with Magic 30. It sort of shows me that the half-life of that set is going to be much longer lived than we maybe hoped. It's just going to be radioactive for a long while. Ooh, there's a few good cards in here. But there were a lot of people who just never had any conversations about exiting. And I've heard many of them now mention it in different ways. Some as vague as Rudy, some more specifically. But that sentiment does not seem to be fading. Okay, let's just take a look at what we got here. Oh, yeah, look at this. All right, this is the one I wanted to share, but as long as these all came out of the box, let's take a look. Beautiful mind twist. Can't go wrong. I love this card. Love the artwork. Love what it does. That's awesome. That's a great pickup. Mana short. Another one I love. Man, when I first started collecting alpha cards, this one was so hard to find. Not such a challenge these days, but it still feels rare to me. Hurricane. Where did I get a hurricane? Don't remember why Hurricane was thrown in there. It is a nice copy. I have not been touching very many commons or uncommons recently, just because my positions are as developed as they are. I'll do a video on that later, I think, but awesome. Okay, so this is the one I wanted to show you, so I'm very excited to get this. Interestingly, an artist proof of Sarah Angel not that long ago went by on eBay. I think it sold for like $3,000 or $3,500 or something like that. This is a deal I had made shortly before that, but that one was the first one I've ever seen publicly. So this is a hard one to find. Let's see, where's my... There we go. I'll leave this in the sleeve, I think. Whew, wow. That is cool. That is epic. Okay, so yeah, I love sketches on my artist proofs. Really beautiful card. Love everything about this. Artist proofs are very interesting and probably worth a whole video of their own. If you don't know, there were no artist proofs for Alpha or for Beta, but the same exact print run that ran Beta was then reran for Collector's and International Edition, and at that point they printed proofs. So there's 50 of each card, and the finish matches to the Collector's Edition. I can't get it out right now. So this is one of 50. Although with a nice painting on the back, it's really one of one. There's a lot to discuss about artist proofs, like I said. I collect certain cards that I really love, but I'm not deep into these for much the same reasons that I'm not very deep into these. I'm not going to get into it too much here, but liquidity is a very serious concern when you're talking about this, and I do also worry that there's a little bit of hype around both of these kinds of cards. I think as some of these really old school collectors are exiting, you're seeing stuff that was perhaps never on the market showing up, even still. And so there's sort of a sense of rare opportunity, and it remains to be seen how that will reabsorb and what will happen with time. But anyway, so with this Epic Edition and this, I really have completed my Sarah Angel global set. I do still need an artist proof, beta artist proof of Demonic Tutor. That is still missing. I have a hook for one, but no deal yet. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. Thanks very much for joining me, as always, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching today's video. If you want me to keep doing outros, then please raise your hand, just hold it up, and I will come by your house at some point, and I will count you. So just keep it up, let me get a good count, and if the majority of people vote yes, then I will continue doing outros. All right, see you next time.